Voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
Hello, everybody. You're listening to another crazy episode of Talk Supernatural Radio, where we have no problem giving you the new hate speech, which seems to be truth. I'm Heidi Linden.
Hello! I am Scott Linden. We're your friendly neighborhood pair of podcasters bringing you freaky truth at the speed of sound.
Well, that was cool, the way you said that.
Everything I say is cool.
For those,
In fact,
oh,
I am
no.
so cool, when I step outside, the sun comes out.
Lame. Wah, wah, wah. Well, you are cool, though. That part's true. For those of you who are first-time listeners, Scott and I are supernatural investigators.
We are.
We head up SWAT Supernatural Investigations.
Leaders head up in charge of.
Are you going to be the defining person?
Just do your thing.
I'm trying to do my thing.
I'm trying to help.
Yeah. Okay. We dedicate our time in the area of the supernatural
Devotion.
and spiritual warfare. We study and research and investigate the spiritual aspects of the paranormal, religion, folklore, mental illness, the occult.
Mental illnesses.
You notice how you stress mental illnesses? You notice that? Yeah.
Very close
There's a
to
reason.
that.
Yeah, in your own
Very
head.
yeah.
We assist people. I know it does. It seems implausible, but we do assist people.
Big word. Learn that one today.
Can I finish?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to tell them what we do, but you are making it impossible. They,
I'm
probably
trying
think
to
that
help.
they probably think that we're like comedians or clowns. That's what they think because of you.
Maybe you.
No, you.
They know who the one giving the facts is.
Yeah.
We had somebody say that I agreed that I gave all the pertinent facts and all the great details about all this. So.
I think that those are the people that do the drinking game. That's what I'm thinking. So we assist people that are plagued by spiritual afflictions. If you want to see more of what we do,
What
you
are
can
you
always check out our website at eph612swat.com. SWAT. That's for spiritual warfare and truth, which is what we seem to stay along the lines of. And tonight we're going to be talking about spiritual warfare.
Tonight's the night of comedy of nights.
Tonight we are going to be talking about generational
curse. No, that wasn't
curse.
a hit, but it was a squeeze.
I'm gonna hit in a second.
Okay.
Tonight we are going to be talking about generational curses and spiritual warfare.
Oh, my turn? You want me to
Yes.
say something?
I would love
now
to.
I can say something?
Well,
now it's okay
you
with
haven't
you?
stopped.
Oh,
You haven't
jumping
stopped saying
Jiminy.
something.
Here we go. When most people think of a curse, they get into their head like a voodoo doll, or Scooby-Doo episodes or something of that sort.
But the definition of a curse is evil that is invoked on someone. So you might have heard it used as omen or bad luck, jinx, a spell, or a vex. Do you remember, did you ever see that episode of Brady Bunch? When they go to Hawaii and they find the little...
Hawaii? I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, Lord. They find the little tiki guy, and it's supposed to be cursed. You didn't watch the Brady Bunch?
No, man.
Well, they find this little tiki god or something, this little statue.
It's like rebuilding bikes or something,
Well, no, not exactly. And then what they do is they find
Only
it in
you
this,
would do that. You and your little...
cursed.
What do you got, that little button? What the one listener says?
I need a button.
You
off
got
button.
that little
Trying to do
Save
an
the
off
Whales
button right
button on
here
your
for you.
shirt?
No, I don't have Save the Whales button. Good try, though. I didn't off button.
Do you watch
for you.
the Brady Bunch?
No, they were cursed.
Brady Bunch.
And then there was this big tarantula on Peter because he had it on him. And then I think Greg was wearing it and he was surfing and he got wiped out. Oh yeah, it was big time cursing going on in
You think
Hawaii
he
with
really
the Brady
knew how to
Bunch.
surf?
I don't think Greg knew how to surf. You know he had an affair with the mom though.
I heard about
Yeah,
that.
they were all doing their thing
Oh,
with
yeah,
each other.
yeah.
Yeah,
The dad was gay.
that was a curse.
the
They're
whole
all
thing
family was
was
all loving on each other.
Yeah, it was a
But
mess.
that was a curse. But so anyways,
Cats and dogs
we're not
living
talking
together.
about that kind of curse because that's like a cursed object, which is something a little bit different. Because there are different kinds of curses. Curses are known in many cultures. The most universal method of laying a curse, though, is by an effigy, which is like a doll, the voodoo doll or whatever.
I got one of those.
You do?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. We need them for our kids. Quiet.
Like now.
Yeah. So the person who wishes to be harmed has no clue that, that they have a thing on them. But if you are aware that there's a curse on you, you better figure it out, because that's some serious damage going on.
That's the tricky part, is you're living life just thinking everything's cool and going well or not cool, and but you don't realize, well, maybe I've got a curse. Nobody thinks of that.
Yeah, but I'm not really talking, tonight we're not going to talk about the curses like that people put on you with dolls and stuff like that, because evil can be
We kind of gave that up.
Yeah, yeah.
I ran out of pins.
Evil can be laid upon us through others' spoken words and actions, believe it or not. Yes. And also, curses can be laid upon us, a lot of people don't know this, by our own words and our own actions.
Yes.
Very first curse?
Well, it was a curse when God cursed Satan, which caused, he caused some problems for Adam and Eve.
So he cursed them. And I don't mean he cussed them out, not that kind of curse.
Good old Satan went over there to Eve and said, hey, God told you couldn't eat of or touch that tree. Basically to say, he just doesn't want you to be like him and have all the wisdom and knowledge.
Temptation,
wisdom, pride was the first sin was pride. Don't you want to be like God? And so he, after that was all said and done, and they were running around naked and gathering up fig leaves and
like
all
the Brady
this
Bunch.
Stuff, God said, Satin.
Satin.
You're going to crawl around on your belly and eat dirt.
That's where people think that it was a snake, because it's
they
just
use
from
the
the
word.
belly.
They use the word serpent. So,
yeah.
And I guess snake is just something we know that crawls on its belly, and most people don't like them.
Most people don't.
So,
yeah.
We don't know.
But that was the first curse, because in the Bible, curses are mentioned a lot.
I also know that Satan can appear as many different things in different shapes, but he somehow, through all this, has some sort of natural look to him. Must be serpent-like.
Yeah. But
Maybe
he can...
He's just a little bitty grass snake.
Just like a little skinny guy.
A little skinny guy.
Like, hi.
Hi.
We're going to I hope no little kids are listening to this, and they're going to go out there and go, Mama, it's Satan.
I chopped him up with a lawnmower.
Well, in the Bible, when the word curse is used, now there are curses throughout the Bible, like what we're talking about, but also when you see the word curse in the Bible, it actually means different things. It can mean being ignored or hatred, but it does talk about invoking evil as well. But one particular curse that it speaks of is a generational curse, which is what we're going to talk about.
Unto your father's father's father.
In Exodus,
and
it talks about...
unto them shall the curse be.
This is a guest appearance by Moses. It is pretty good, though.
What?
You're Moses, right? You're doing Moses.
Audio. When's the last time you ran across Moses?
Well, every Easter he comes on Channel 12, ABC. So
That's good to know. There he is.
Some people call him Charlton Heston. I call him Moses. But in Exodus, it talks about a curse will come upon those who have done wrong. And then that curse will visit their children and upon their children's children and upon the third and fourth generation. That's nuts.
Lamentations tells us in 5:7 says we can bear the punishment of others' wrongdoings.
Yeah, that's
So we
pretty
end up
creepy.
bearing the punishment of what somebody else did. And there's a lot of examples of that in everyday life and biblical too. And
So therefore we will go on, and we will continue with the rest of the story.
And if you think about it, if you are listening to this and you want evidence and you think you might be under a generational curse, you look up your
that's
family
what you
tree.
can do when something goes all wrong. You get a flat tire. Oh, this is because of the generational curse.
No.
I can't believe that this is the third flat tire in my lifetime.
Or when you get a 16-year-old who's going to prom and like the night before prom she gets that huge zit on her nose. I'm cursed. I can't go anywhere. Not that kind of curse. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. But if you look up your family tree and you look with no denial, no doubt, just be like a reporter. Don't be biased or anything. And if you see things that others went through in your family or things that they've done that's happened to you and you can connect and relate it to stuff that you're going through, you could I'm talking negative stuff, obviously. It could be a generational curse. Like I was under one.
Yes.
I've talked about that before.
You have.
Yeah. And when I married you, it continued. When I was 3 years old, I was seeing spirits. Like, how does, that just doesn't happen. And then demonic...
Did you?
Yeah, it did to me. Demonic spirits started coming to me. Every house I lived in, all my friends were like, why is every house you live in haunted? I was constantly getting sick. I was having like a mental torment because I would hear spirits, I would see them.
And then when I met you, I started getting mental torment.
Did you? Are you over that yet?
So I have a marital curse.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah.
Some people would call it a blessing, but only those who really know me. But
Just
then,
saying.
when all this stuff was happening to me, it started happening to my son, who at the time was it started when he was about 3 or 4, and he started seeing spirits. In my mind, I was like, oh, that's sort of neat. He's got my gift. Not necessarily a gift, because if you have a gift, it shouldn't be a curse.
Yeah.
You know, if you get something for Christmas and you open it up and it's this awesome shirt, you want to wear it and look good.
Awesome shirt. And we must be talking about somebody that's past like 20 years old.
Why?
Well, because kids don't want a shirt.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, gee, thanks for the polo, Mom.
A teenager might want some like really cool
maybe a
North
teenager.
Face kind of shirt.
I wasn't that kind of T-shirt. That kind of guy. I was more like, has it got holes in it?
Well, I'm not
If
talking
it's got
about
holes in it, I want it.
I'm not talking about going to Farm and Fleet and getting their $5 rack.
Not
okay?
everybody has a Farm and Fleet, you know.
Oh.
You're talking Greek to most
But
people.
I think they would figure it out by the name of Farm and Fleet, what it really sells.
Maybe not.
Farm
Maybe
stuff.
it's lingerie.
Farm and Fleet lingerie. No. Or way off subject. Okay. So
It's ain't my fault. You're the
You
one
get a
shooting out
gift.
these weird things.
you get a nice gift and you use it. It shouldn't bring like bad things with it because it's a gift. And a lot of people like myself, when I had all these abilities to do things, all this bad stuff was happening, and I was just under the assumption that sort of came along with it. So, but that's not how it's supposed to be. Then you're under a curse. Well, so all this stuff was going on. It started happening to my son when he was about 8. It actually started physically coming on to him where he was having issues with sleep paralysis and just a lot of sicknesses. And then I found out that my family had a history in witchcraft. So it came on to me, that kind of curse. All the things, the dark doors that they opened up. And when I found that out, I instantly knew what was going on. I instantly put it together. So, well, my family was plagued with addiction. I have a family member who's a hermit. Mental illness runs in my family. No, not Kermit, hermit.
Oh.
Mental illness. My family, a lot of them are just
Kermit
very
Frog.
sad and lonely people, unhappy, you know. So that's a curse. And I was headed down that way too. Alcoholism runs in my family, you know. So that curse had to be broken because it keeps happening to every person in the family. So, like, have you ever seen a family where the father has a problem with uncontrollable anger? And it seems
Angry.
that it's handed down to the son?
He was cross.
Oh, yeah, like in Thomas the Train.
Yeah.
You're going to do Thomas the Train on
Yeah.
our podcast, really?
Yeah.
And you teased me about Brady Bunch.
Thomas is
Unbelievable.
cool. You know, the trains and the
I think more
engines.
people know about Brady Bunch than they do Thomas.
Not if they have 4-year-olds.
I don't know. But if they have well, maybe. I don't know. So,
He was cross.
but, okay, so back to the curse. If a family has someone who's, like, let's say a grandpa who had uncontrollable anger and it went on to the dad and to the son, but a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's just a learned trait. But it's not, because in a lot of families where the
some
kids
of
don't
it,
grow
but-
up with that parents, they might have that as well.
I could actually attest to some of that where I didn't grow up with my biological father. Yet I have a lot of his traits.
Oh.
And even though
I have fallen under the blood of Christ.
I still experience some of the traits of the dark side.
Whoa. That's like lightsaber cool. Very cool. But yeah, that it happens. Or if you've noticed that maybe you suffer from something and it's persistent in your family, like irrational fears or depression, and then you find out your mom had it, your aunts have it, things like that. So that's starting to
I have
throw
a
red
problem
flags.
with ants.
Ants.
Yeah, they're so small.
Yeah, aunts and uncles I'm talking about.
Oh,
Not the bug, dear.
okay.
So I'm not talking about learned behavior, like where children learn to be messy because their parents are messy, not stuff like that, but a spiritual bondage, and it's passed down from one generation to another. And it is biblical, and it's very, very obvious in the world, but people don't know it. So
Right. Right. Come on. Preach
some
it.
of
Come
the
on.
curse traits would be depression, anger, fears, addiction, mental illness, physical illness, the same negative relationship issues, financial hardships, the same criminal activities, some spiritual related ties, like dark doors opening up. So like with mine, with witchcraft and things like that. So those seem to be circulating around the generational curses but we're not limited to that. That's just the main thing. So if you have somebody who, let's say,